Another day in paradise. Oh gosh, I feel like I've been shifting through so much lately, but in a good way. Like really looking at my shadows. I feel like I'm the shadow queen, where I'm able to just really sit with my own bullshit. Because I know I call everyone else out on it as well, but it's like you actually have to practice what you preach in life. You can't just be this like self-proclaimed guru or someone who sits on their perch telling everyone else what to do like a dictator. Even if people think that I come across as that, like, that's your own judgment. Whatever. I know who I am in my heart, and I know I have to keep reminding myself I've got nothing to prove. But the reason why I have to keep reminding myself is because I can feel energy. I can feel people's intentions. I don't want to say I can read people's thoughts because that probably freaks people out. But I guess at the most simple level is I understand things on an energetic level. That might not make sense to some people, and it doesn't need to, but if you want to get sort of an understanding of that, is when we look at things in nature. When you spend time in nature, for example, usually you feel calm, you feel peaceful, you might feel like you have a happy heart. Or when you spend time with animals, you just feel like, oh, they make you feel so much better. And this is because it's all energy. Like, energy doesn't lie. You might have heard that before. Whereas people do. People wear masks. People gaslight you, manipulate you. People are envious. And, unfortunately, it just is part of the human experience. And we're going to get screwed over, even by the people who we think are our nearest and dearest. Like, I've lost a lot of people along the way, and I stopped gaslighting myself a long time ago, where I'm like, oh, maybe I'm the problem. It's not about someone being a problem or not. It's just about you don't have a resonance with someone anymore. Your frequency is different. I remember saying this to some friends of mine when all of this psychosis first started in end of 2022, beginning of 2023. And I confided in one of my closest friends, just expressing that, I just knew that I was on a different frequency to someone else. And she obviously went and told that person, because then it turned into a huge thing, and, they were spreading all sorts about me, because they probably thought that I was just this like arrogant person who thought I was better than everyone. But I've actually never thought I'm better than anybody. It's just when you have a higher vibration, which is just like a matter of fact thing. It's not about thinking, I'm so high vibe, I'm better than you. Like, sure, some people might have that kind of, I guess, like ego or like God complex or even Messiah complex. Like, that is common for people who experience psychosis. So I can fully understand and appreciate that some people probably think that I'm permanently psychotic or absolutely manic. And, that's valid to think that, because I have experienced psychosis a number of times, and you kind of, once you've experienced it, you've got the stigma over your head forever. Yet I'm coming to an awareness and just a full acceptance within myself that people who are inventors, thought leaders, geniuses, often are considered crazy. And then they create something, or they bring some sort of new thought or idea into the world, and then it eventually catches on to everyone else. And then everyone's like, oh, wow, that was a great idea. Wow, they were really onto something. Yeah, imagine that person who's getting like bombarded with just hate and jealousy and being called like an absolute Looney Tune. Like, it's just, you have to laugh because otherwise you'll cry. And I don't know if there's like a lot of people out there who maybe think like, she's bluffing, she can't be that happy, she's like, must have so much trauma. And yeah, I have been through a lot, and it was really traumatic. And I have this like ferocious, I guess, like inner, what would you call it? Inner like masculine energy, inner feminine energy that is very ferocious and will protect my inner child at all costs. And so, I might not be crying on camera and like pouring my heart out at the moment, but it's because I am also a private person. Like, I think people might get the wrong impression from me. Like, I'm not actually super extroverted, and I don't want to necessarily be front center and want all this attention on me. I actually am very content by myself, in my own energy, not being the life of the party. Like, yeah, I have a big energy. It's because I've got a big heart and I've got big ideas. But, you know, you can't tame yourself. You can't just be like, oh, well, I'll just be this quiet little mouse, when you actually have like a big roar. You're a ferocious lion. It doesn't mean that you have to be like extroverted. Like, some people who have the biggest impact and biggest ripple in the world are softly spoken, keep to themselves, don't have any social presence. And I guess it just comes down to your own story and how you want to make a difference in the world. And I guess my strategy, if we want to talk business and how we understand like our mission in life and the impact we want to make, my, I guess, strategy is to have as big a reach as I possibly can, to share my story, to help other people who have been through the mental health system, who feel like they've been abused, who feel like, yeah, just completely traumatized from such unnecessary treatment. And also about the misunderstanding of the spiritual component of psychosis, and how, in my opinion and perspective, I believe it's your soul is trying to liberate itself. It's trying to break free and from the shackles of egoic thinking, you know, break out of the matrix, as they say. And so, of course, to many people, it's going to be scary, terrifying, like, oh my God, that person's just completely lost it. But I don't know what the quote is, but it says something about like, to liberate your soul, you have to lose your mind. And that might sound a bit like scary, but it's scary to the ego. It's not scary to the soul. Your soul wants to be liberated. It wants to be free. It wants to be its authentic expression. It wants to like rise like a phoenix and just soar through the sky. This is why when we sometimes just see people who are so liberated, it's like they're magnetic, because you're like, wow, like how are they so free-spirited? They just are really themselves. And isn't it funny how that often reminds us of children, how children wear fairy costumes or Spider-Man, and they're just themselves, and we don't judge them. But we judge adults because we're just, I don't know what our problem is. I guess it's ego and a sense of competition. But children often don't feel like that. They're just like, I love everybody, and that's that. And I truly believe that's what we're returning to. We're returning to a state of unconditional love, loving your enemies, your best friends, your family, everybody equally. And I know that probably sounds like a bit of a far reach, because it's like, how can you love your enemy? But that is part of this soul school. We're all evolving, and I don't know if maybe everyone will reach that state in this lifetime. Maybe not. Maybe you got to come back 20 more times to learn the lessons. Like, I guess everyone's got their own trajectory, but I know what my soul's evolution is in this lifetime, and it is literally to master unconditional love. And hey, maybe I'm not there yet. I'm still human, still got some shit to deal with. And I know I still have some trauma, but like, I have had to heal myself so much by myself that, yeah, I'm definitely ready to have other people who can support me in that capacity. But when you have genuinely been screwed over and betrayed by a lot of people around you, it makes your armoring of your heart like hardcore. So I do know that I have a very delicate heart. I'm very emotional, very sensitive, but also I'm very selective. Like, I'm not just going to like give my beautiful, loving energy to anybody. And I actually think that's a smart way to live. And also, you know, it's just like having fierce boundaries. Like, not everyone is entitled to a little piece of you, even if they think they are. Like, just because, you know, you've had people from your past, or people who think they're still in love with you, maybe it's like ex-lovers or people who have crushes on you, doesn't mean they're entitled to your energy. Like, you actually have to protect it. And as I've mentioned before, treat it sacredly. Like, this is why a lot of people who become very successful, whether that's in business or I don't know what other areas of life there are, but people who become really successful have quite a small inner circle, because they're just got like very tight energetic boundaries, very tight, I guess just like boundaries with themselves as well. Like, your highest priority in life should be yourself. It's literally not even your partner, not your children, not your parents. And that might like make you like eye roll or be like, you don't know what you're talking about. But you really have to understand that the most important relationship in your life is the one you have with yourself. And everything else comes second to that. You'll always end up being a hypocrite if you put your child before yourself, your parents before yourself, your friends before yourself, because you can't say you truly love, properly if you don't love yourself. And so I know it probably sounds like in reverse order, like, oh no, I'm selfless and I just love my family so much. That's wonderful. It's beautiful to love your family, but you also need to be loving towards yourself. So how can you just acknowledge, like, where are you pouring so much extra love into other people, but maybe not into yourself? Like, how can you be kinder to yourself? Maybe talking to yourself more kindly internally or in the mirror, actually waking up every day and saying, good morning, I love you. And just sitting with how that makes you feel. Louise Hay is an excellent role model in this space. She's just an incredible human. She's definitely changed my life. And it's such simple things. She just has such a gentle approach to help you understand that you really have to nurture your own inner being. That is your soul. That is your inner child, your inner teenager. It's all the parts of yourself that feel fractured and have split off. Yet to achieve wholeness and to step into living your most abundant and expansive life, you have to reconcile all the parts of yourself that you've abandoned. And it's vulnerable. It's hard to confront. It's hard to face, because sometimes it's easier to give our love to other people. It's easier to outsource things, to give advice to other people, or to always be outwardly focused. But the real work you have to do, it's an inside job. It's doing inner work, shadow work. It's facing the parts of yourself that make you feel uncomfortable. And that is obviously uncomfortable, yet it's just the journey that we're all on. So I'm sending you love, compassion, encouragement, because if I can get through what I've gotten through and still push forward and be courageous to humiliate myself online, to be judged online, and everything else in between, then you can face your own inner stuff too.